Welcome to our US briefing show, everyone. Today, we've got some exciting updates. First up, the Trump administration has taken control of Washington's historic Union Station from Amtrak. This move aims to restore the station's glory, improve safety, and make it a proud symbol of the city, all while aligning with broader efforts to beautify Washington and curb crime. It's a big step in transforming the city's iconic transit hub. Next, Ukraine is eyeing a daring move, using US weapons to strike deep into Russian territory. While some US leaders encourage a more aggressive stance, official restrictions limit the use of American weapons within Russia. Still, Ukraine continues to receive long-range missiles capable of reaching far into Russian land, keeping the conflict tense and complex. Finally, in space tech news, China's Tiangong space station has surpassed the ISS in materials research, and the US, China, and other nations are racing to develop revolutionary rotating detonation engines. These engines could change warfare and space travel with higher efficiency and hypersonic speeds. It's an exciting time for aerospace innovation. Please continue to watch for more detailed stories. The South China Morning Post reports that in a dramatic assertion of federal authority, the Trump administration has taken control of Washington's iconic Union Station from Amtrak, transforming it into a symbol of the administration's broader efforts to reshape the city's infrastructure and safety. Transport Secretary Sean Duffy announced this move amid a backdrop of political tension and national security concerns, criticizing the station's state of disrepair and framing the takeover as a cost-effective measure to enhance the city's safety and beauty. This action coincides with President Trump's recent call for a $2 billion investment to beautify Washington, which is part of his aggressive stance on law and order, deploying thousands of National Guard troops to combat what he describes as violent crime, despite evidence indicating a decline in such incidents. The move to seize Union Station, a historic hub near the Capitol, exemplifies the federal government's willingness to exert control over local assets, with officials promising to turn it into a world-class transit center, even as critics voice concerns over the implications of federal intervention in local affairs. Deutsche Welle sheds light on Ukraine's strategic ambitions amid ongoing conflict with Russia, revealing the country's desire to leverage US-supplied weapons to strike targets deep within Russian territory. Despite Washington's cautious stance and mixed messages, on one hand urging restraint, on the other providing long-range air missiles, Ukraine remains eager to shift the battlefield dynamics. While the Pentagon has limited the use of American weapons inside Russia, Ukraine's hope is to turn the tide of war by targeting critical Russian infrastructure from afar, aiming to break Moscow's grip and accelerate the conflict's resolution. This delicate balancing act underscores the complex geopolitical landscape, where Ukraine's aspirations for a decisive blow are tempered by US restrictions, yet the desire for a more aggressive approach persists amid the relentless war effort. Deutsche Welle vividly illustrates the struggles of German companies like Skylatech as they grapple with the impact of US tariffs, which are compelling them to reconsider their supply chains and production strategies. Skylatech, a mid-sized firm specializing in fall protection and safety equipment, has identified potential sites in Denver to shift its manufacturing operations to the US but faces significant hurdles in sourcing skilled labor and materials. The company's dilemma underscores the broader challenge faced by many European firms caught in the crossfire of trade tensions, forcing them to adapt quickly or risk losing their competitive edge in the global market. South China Morning Post delves into the cutting-edge technological race between the US and China over rotating detonation engines, RDEs, a revolutionary propulsion technology with the potential to transform hypersonic missile systems. The US, through collaborations like RTX and Pratt & Whitney, has entered the practical validation stage after a decade of research, aiming to integrate RDEs into future weaponry capable of Mach 5 speeds. Meanwhile, China has made remarkable strides, with universities and private companies like TWR Engine conducting successful ground tests and flight trials of their own RDE prototypes, complemented by the construction of the world's most powerful hypersonic wind tunnel. This global competition highlights the strategic importance of RDEs in shaping future military dominance and technological superiority. Associated Press offers a stark and emotional account of the ongoing Gaza conflict, emphasizing the complex web of political motives, military strategies, and humanitarian crises that perpetuate the violence. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is accused of prolonging the war to maintain political power amid pressure from far-right coalition partners committed to total victory over Hamas. Meanwhile, Hamas remains steadfast, refusing to disarm or accept exile, viewing armed resistance as essential to Palestinian aspirations for independence. The US's role appears limited, with President Trump advocating for an end to hostilities but exerting little pressure on Israel to change course. The stalemate underscores the profound difficulty of ending a conflict rooted in deep-seated grievances, political calculations, and the tragic toll on civilians caught in the crossfire. The Associated Press reports on Kilmar Abrego Garcia's case, highlighting his desire to seek asylum in the United States amid a complex legal battle and political controversy. Garcia, a Salvadoran national, was detained in Baltimore after being deported to El Salvador in violation of a court order that protected him from deportation due to credible threats from gangs. His lawyers argue that he fears persecution and torture in Uganda, where the U.S. intends to deport him, and he has expressed a preference for Costa Rica. The case underscores the contentious nature of U.S. immigration policy under the Trump administration, which has deported Garcia multiple times despite legal protections and his efforts to re-establish his asylum claim. His situation is further complicated by allegations of gang membership, which he denies, and accusations that his deportation is politically motivated as punishment for resisting deportation and refusing criminal charges, with reports suggesting Uganda may have struck a deal with the U.S. to accept deportees in exchange for political favors. South China Morning Post details the escalating tensions in the South China Sea, focusing on China's assertive maritime activities near the Philippines' Second Thomas Shoal. Philippine military officials have reported a surge in Chinese naval and Coast Guard presence, including the deployment of a tugboat and maritime militia vessels conducting aggressive maneuvers, water cannon use, and drone operations aimed at the Philippine-occupied BRP Sierra Madre. Manila has responded with warnings that any attempt by China to board or tow away its grounded warship would cross a red line, invoking the Mutual Defense Treaty with the U.S. and preparing contingency plans for defense. The incident reflects China's ongoing strategy of salami slicing to assert sovereignty over disputed waters, despite international rulings affirming Philippine rights. The Philippines remains resolute, emphasizing that its military personnel on the vessel are prepared to defend their territory with appropriate force, and continues to uphold its lawful presence based on legal rulings and diplomatic agreements. The South China Morning Post also highlights China's rapid advancements in space technology and artificial intelligence, emphasizing its competitive stance on the global stage. China's Tiangong space station has recently set a new record in space-based materials research by heating tungsten alloy to over 3,100 degrees Celsius, surpassing the capabilities of the International Space Station. Meanwhile, Beijing is aggressively pursuing a comprehensive AI development roadmap, aiming for over 70% adoption across industries by 2027 and over 90% by 2030, signaling its ambition to embed artificial intelligence deeply into its economic and technological infrastructure. Additionally, Chinese leadership remains vigilant about internal and external challenges, with recent political shakeups like the removal of a veteran Navy chief amid corruption allegations and the ongoing effort to showcase military strength through anniversary celebrations. These developments underscore China's strategic focus on technological innovation, military modernization, and asserting influence on the global stage, even as international observers question the sustainability and implications of its rapid growth and assertiveness. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.